Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. Today is Monday, April 1st, and on the agenda, what we want to do is just cover the macro dashboard. I think it's just a really good thing to go over at the beginning of the week just to see how everything in macro land is doing. So you guys know a lot of things depend on macro, and if macro is not doing good, then some of the other risk assets, crypto, everything else won't be doing good. So we'll take a look at the macro dashboard. We got some news on Coin and Coinbase, and we'll take a look at the BTC ETF flows, and then we'll take a look at BTC and Solana on a technical analysis level. So let's dive in. Okay, looking at the S&P 500 right now, we're trading at, the SPY's trading at 522. Market's been kind of trading sideways. It's down 0.2% right now, and just kind of consolidating. Nothing major, still in the upper bands of the Bollinger Bands. And so I think there's still underlining demand for the SPY and the S&P 500. Looking at the NASDAQ, it's doing a little bit better. It's trading at 444, and it's up at about, 0.17%. Very similar to S&P. We've been trading sideways for the last couple of days, and I think if you guys have been paying attention, the big quarterly OPEX just ended, and that kind of took away some of the buying flows. And that was good. We were expecting either a sideways consolidation like we were seeing, or even a 2 to 5%, even 10% drop as well too on the NASDAQ and the SPY, but we didn't even see that. So there's some kind of ongoing demand right now for equities markets. So I think that's good. Europe is off today, and we had the holiday on Friday as well too for Easter, and so I think markets and everybody's just kind of getting back into gear, and hopefully things will pick up in the next couple of days or so. Looking at the VIX is a little bit up. It's almost up at 1.8%. It's been trading down here at 13 for a while, and so it's still at 13. Still think we're in this 12 to 16 range for a while, unless we get something crazy and there's a spike up in VIX, but nothing alarming from the VIX. So the dollar right now is a little bit flat at negative 0.06%. I think it's actually rallying a little bit today, and so we saw some risk off, and that's why the market is not doing so great. We had a really good pre-market rally, and then kind of things just tapered off. It was really a big move on the dollar. The dollar's been on this kind of uptrend. I don't personally think this uptrend's going to last that long, but still the dollar's going higher, so that means risk assets don't like that. And we'll kind of continue to monitor this, but I think right now the dollar is really driving a lot of the price action that we're seeing in the market. Looking at the 2-year and the 10-year notes right now, they're making a little bit of a comeback. They've been on a downtrend this whole entire year, pretty much since January. It peaked January, but right now I don't think the bonds aren't telling us much besides the values just kind of decreasing. That kind of gives us an indication probably inflation might be higher this year, and that investors and traders expect more from the yields. And maybe right now I think they're at around like 4 or 5%. And we're really maybe looking for 6% for them to be compensated with duration risk with any of the bonds here. So things are just, again, not looking really great for the 2-year and the 10-year note, but we'll keep monitoring just to see how the bond market is doing. The bond market was a big driver of the markets a couple of months ago, but since bond market volatility has kind of calmed down, it's been a little bit easier. And I think the main thing that's been driving assets has just been liquidity. Gold is up at 1.16%. It's breaking an all-time high. It was up all the way at 2,256. We have some upper targets here for 2,314. I think we're going to try to reach this right now. We're trading a little bit down here today, but looking good. Most of the time in this kind of regime for inflation, you would expect gold to not be doing good. So gold is a little bit interesting here for me, just to see it kind of rallying even with inflation and oil rallying as well too. Usually, there's some kind of risk component, or there's something the market's trying to price in with gold. So kind of keeping my eyes out on gold and seeing what that does. Looking at crude oil is doing really good. WTI is up 2.24% right now. And we have some upper targets right here. I did sell about one contract here just because we were hitting this range at $83. We do have some upper targets of $85. and some lower support here at $81. Oil's been kind of on a march up here, and I think it's going to still continue. Economy's picking up, China's picking back up. The rest of the world, Europe is starting to kind of what Dale calls like green shoots. So things are picking back up in the global economy. So things are looking good. So that's a little bit about the overall market. So things are still trading sideways. Everything still looks constructive. We're just going to watch the dollar since I'm expecting a decline pretty soon. We had a 9 sell countdown for the euro, so indicating just a reversal. And then just taking a look at gold still just to see if, gold is maybe trying to tell us something that we're not seeing. So paying attention to both the dollar and gold for right now, but everything in macro still looks pretty good. So I wanted to check out this tweet here from Mike Dudas. So Mike posted this chart. I don't know if you guys have known, but Base is a L2 that Coinbase has actually started this year. It's supposed to kind of compete with BNB, which is like Binance's second or secondary chain as well too. So fees within the last 24 hours have been, $1.43 million. You can kind of see here from DeFi Llama that the general trend for fees and revenue for Coinbase has actually been up. So, some of you, if you guys haven't been paying attention, meme coins have been launching off of Solana and Base. And over the weekend, I think MFers just released a MFers coin on there as well too. So just a lot of gambling and a lot of activity going on right now on meme coins. I think meme coins going to be kind of the narrative for the next, couple of months or weeks or so until we'll see how this kind of lasts. But it's an interesting case for Coinbase just because people didn't realize that you can also generate now as a company revenue from your L2 that you're using. Everybody just thought, Coinbase was just a custody or they were a trading desk, but they're kind of growing their revenue and they're growing different fields and their revenue can grow. So let's take a dive into Coinbase and see what the charts look like on Coinbase. So as you can see, looking on the daily for Coinbase, our size is a little bit oversold, but we did have this 13 that hit here. We also have another 13 here as well too, and we have a 1 buy setup. Right now, I personally really want to add coin. We did have some long dated coin options that I sold way too early. I think I can't even buy those anymore since they're so expensive now, and just kind of waiting. Volatility right now is really expensive, and just long dated options for Coinbase is really expensive. So things look good. I do think that we're in the middle of the cycle for Coinbase and looking for like $400, $500 maybe on Coinbase. So right now, just kind of holding still. Just wanted to kind of check on the chart just because of that news and seeing how the chart reflects that. Looking at the daily, we have some support here at the 149. Maybe that's a good buy order if I see something going down to this end. Maybe do a long tactical trade on Coinbase or maybe add it to our long-term portfolio as well too. Seeing that they are improving and they're fundamentally is making a big difference in the revenue. We have some upper targets right here on the hourly for 304. 311 and 325, and then some support down here at the 228, 230, 223, and then 216 level. So maybe we get down to some of these levels, I could add some coin into a long-term position. And then looking at the weekly charts, things look still constructive here. We just kind of tapped over into this oversold. I'm not sure if this is going to kind of continue up into this overbought territory. You're gonna be losing momentum here as well too. Nothing from D-Wave here, and some major support here at 162. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin right now on the technical side. We did have something sell DeMARK, so we'll kind of see if it does pull back to any of these levels, maybe even this 199 level. I could be adding to my long-term portfolio because I think it's just a good hold for the next 12 to 6 months. So let's dive over to Bitcoin. Just taking a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flows on Thursday, which is the last day the market was open. We had positive of $184 million. That's really good. We've been kind of seeing we're back in the green after a couple of days here, like a week or so in the red for Bitcoin flows. Again, these are just the US ETFs and doesn't account for some of the other ones that are going to come on and spin back online. So I think from this, we're seeing a little bit of slowdown here. So, and with those 13s hitting from the Bitcoin weekly, so things could probably be trading sideways, not like super bullish as I was before. So I'm going to keep monitoring like our clean spark positions and things like that, just to kind of see this just not as bullish momentum with the Bitcoin ETF inflows and with the technicals as well too. So just a little bit more my ears perked up a little bit more from a risk perspective. And so Bitcoin's hurting a little bit today. It's down 3.65%, and we have a buy setup, just indicating the general direction's down. RSI here is just tapping into the overbought territory. So I'm kind of feeling indifferent right now about Bitcoin. We have some upper targets here of 79,000 and like 80,000 here. I think the biggest thing I want to highlight for you guys is this 13 here that hit here on the weekly chart. As you can see, 13s are, really strong sell signals. So I just want to see how this reacts. Also, RSI is kind of in this oversold territory. So if we start losing momentum here on Bitcoin, again, that could be a good add for anybody who is going to be looking to add and hasn't been fully allocated, or somebody's looking for a swing trade here, looking at maybe this 60,000 level, or we have some support here at 66,000. If it drops down to 66,000, I'll probably add to my futures account, and then 65,000 here as well too. But I think right now, either add to Coinbase or add to our Bitcoin futures account. And looking at Solana, it's down 6.17% as well too. We have an 8 setup, just indicating the general direction is going to be up still. I think Solana looks a little bit more constructive since we have these line indicators indicating up and just a general reversal. Got some upper targets here of 228, and looking at the hourly, we have 216 as some upper targets, and then just the general direction is going to be down at that buy countdown for the hourly. And then again, very similar to Bitcoin, we have these 13s that hit and then these 9s that hit as well too. So we'll kind of see what happens. I think maybe I'll dip a little bit since this is a really strong signal, maybe trade sideways for a little bit. And we've already kind of been doing that. So maybe the signal's already at work. But hopefully we'll kind of see how it reacts to these. And if it kind of continues to rally after this, then we'll know that the market is really strong and really strong buy fundamentals right now. If not, if we kind of trade down or trade sideways, we need to know that it just needs some breathing room. So hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of an update today on the macro and then some of the crypto. Continue to follow with us to see, more of this technical analysis. So I hope you guys enjoy what we present today, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And then